Hey guys, Jeremy and Tiffany Forrest here with Premier Pro Wash and Seal. And in today's episode we wanted to go over some different scenarios here that we have sealed and just give you the benefits of what it looks like once the stones are sealed versus not sealed. So we'll start off here in the far left. You can see this is concrete. I just took an old cinder block made of concrete, and it looks exactly the same. There's no difference. You would never even know that this was sealed until we do the magical pouring water test on here. So when we pour water, you can see the water just runs right off. And what that does is, if you've got a concrete driveway or slab out back, but let's say we got a concrete driveway and you've got a leak, a transmission or an oil leak, it's not going to allow that oil or transmission fluid to just soak right in, versus right over here, the not sealed, you can see it goes right into the concrete. Concrete is actually very porous, so once a stain sits in there, it gets deep into the concrete, and that's why it's so difficult to remove. And we'll do a little comparison right over here. So you can definitely see the difference with sealed concrete versus not sealed concrete. The next comparison we'll do is I actually took some stones from our own backyard. Now, we had our pavers installed about 7 years ago, and these stones have literally been sitting inside of my garage for the last 7 years. So just sitting in the garage, not even exposed to the sun, this is how the stones first came out to us about 7 years ago. And just sitting in the garage, you can see how they faded without even being exposed to the weather. So what I did here is I took these two stones, and this was actually, I wanted to make it as fair as possible. This was actually much lighter than this stone, so I wanted to seal the lighter stone just to see how much color would come out of it. The darker the stone naturally already is, the more color you're going to be able to revive. But in this case, again, I took the lighter stone of the two and I put 2 coats of sealer, our enhancement sealer, and you can see right here there's definitely a huge difference. And this is just 2 light coats, not even really soaking the stone like we would do on the first coat when we spray. We usually get a flood coat on the stone, so this is just 2 light coats, and you can see the major difference. Now, I went ahead and put some sand in here. We always recommend that we re-sand the joints, and so on the edge here, this is called your chamfer edge, and ideally in between each stone you want about 1/8 of an inch of sand to fill in that joint space. And what that does is that keeps the stones from shifting and from collapsing, and then also it helps with our draining purposes. Now, once over time, with our rain and weather or just regular pressure washing, the sand gets blown out of the joints, and that's why you experience another problem with weeds. So ideally, with our sealer, it's a 2-part water-based sealer. Now, I just did this not even 2 hours ago, so it hasn't had a chance for the sand to lock into place, but I want to give you an example. If you have someone come out and they re-sand your joints, that's great, but you want to make sure that whatever sealer they're using locks that sand into place, so it keeps everything function the way it's supposed to do, and then it also keeps the weeds from being able to poke up as easy. So you can see just regular sand. This is high quality sand. It's silica sand. It's been completely stripped of all the nutrients, so it's great quality sand that you're supposed to be using in between the joint space. So if you re-sand the joints again, that's fine, but over time you're going to lose that sand. So not even 2 hours later, this is a lot of sand in here in one spot, but you can see it's already beginning to lock into place, and it's going to become hard as a rock over the next few hours. It'll be rock hard, so that will really help us keep the weed growth significantly reduced. So again, just to give you a little example of the difference, this is a dark color because it's still semi-wet from the sealer, but it hasn't even been a couple hours and it's already starting to get rock hard. And that's very, very important. And then the last thing is I took a piece of our old coping here, just showed you an example. The top here is the sealed and the bottom here, so we get the same effect. So you can see when we pour water here, it just rolls right off. And then this is the unsealed version, and it just kind of staying on there. It's going to absorb into it. Now coping is much more dense than just regular stones or concrete, so that's why it didn't absorb quite as fast, but it's still absorbing in there versus the sealed option, which as you can see, just rolling right off. It will, see if we can get this to, see it just rolls right down into the unsealed portion. So I just wanted to do a quick demo. This is our most popular version when it comes to sealing pavers. Most people like the wet enhanced look because they like to bring back that color. There's so many features to sealing pavers besides the colors. You can see, just like the concrete, it just rolls right off. It's not gonna just absorb right in there. So again, just like the concrete, if this was a paver driveway and you have an oil or transmission leak, it's not going to absorb right into the stone versus the unsealed portion, which you can see it's just going right immediately into the stone. So if that was oil, that's why it's really, really difficult to get oil out when it gets deep into the stone. And again, this is the paver version. You can see how that just rolls right off. So if you guys would like a free quote, by all means, please call or text us at 813-335-2869. Feel free to check out our website at www.pressurewashingpaversealing.com, or you can check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/Premier Pro Wash and Seal. We do a variety of things besides just paver sealing. We also do house washing, building wash, pool cages, fence washing, a variety of things. But paver sealing is 80% of our business, and we'll be happy to answer any questions or concerns you may have. Thank you for watching this video.